So once again, it's now becoming my annual tradition to talk to the thieves of my wallet, known as the Star Wars guys from Hasbro. I love you guys. My wallet does not. Neither does my wife. So, but I'm here with Steven.
Yes, wallet thief number one. I also work in marketing and product development for Star Wars.
And Eric.
Yep, Eric, product design on Star Wars.
Earlier this year that you guys announced the Sith Trooper, which is available here at the show, and it looks amazing. It's a different design. Like it's obviously it's a trooper, so there is some minor changes in that. But it's amazing is how much even on the Black Series, 6-inch scale, that when I'm looking at that, there's like how many little details you guys are putting into that, and how much comes in the packaging, like all the extra weapons and all that stuff. So like, how does that whole process work for you guys when this is being decided on, like with a figure like that?
So we pretty much start with reference from Lucasfilm. Lucasfilm gives us a pretty huge dump of assets for the new movie, and we get to see all these things. And we get, for like the Sith Trooper in particular, they gave us a Sith Trooper, they gave us all the turns, they like told us exactly what the context of this character in the story, and kind of what his weapons, his armament that he would have, like what the prevalence is of those weapons. Our sculptors do a phenomenal job of having like really good articulation, but also being able to maintain the aesthetics of the figure.
When you look at them, they always look amazing, which I'm sure makes the selling of them a lot easier for you guys.
Oh, very much so. I mean, we have one of the most talented teams, and again, it's close collaboration with Lucas, and it's constantly working back and forth, day to day, hour to hour, just like making sure every change we're making it, we're going with it, and it makes it very easy when we know that people know the quality of the Vintage Collection, they know the quality of the Black Series, like they know that they're getting the best of the best, so that makes the marketing of it pretty easy. We got to make sure we have it where it needs to be, and that we're working along with the design team to make sure we're picking the characters that are the most relevant in terms of the upcoming entertainment.
Right. Yeah, and obviously, again, working on toys and how that can be, it's a hard but fun job.
It is.
For you though, like in the marketing side of things, like the fun hard job is like there's a built-in audience, and they're ravenous. But they're ravenous, so they can be a little bit more critical, a little bit more vocal if you don't get the right, if you guys release a figure out of sequence that they think or whatever. So when you are, working on a line, things like that, do you guys like pay any attention to what fans are saying online on the boards and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're constantly like in tune with that, and constantly, we're looking at that. That's where we get a lot of our ideas, and we're constantly telling the fans, like we hear you, like we know you want to do this, and that's how we get a lot of the figures and a lot of these different things out there. Like that's how the Jabba Sail Barge idea came to be. Like that was just being asked for on every message board. Like we need this, we want this, and like if you guys are loud enough, we're always looking at the message boards and kind of going through that, and we know and the fans are ravenous, but that makes us better because it's like, okay, like when we're thinking about things, it's like, okay, yeah, that's a great idea. It's like, all right, now through the mind of a fan, but luckily, like majority of the team are fans, so they're already in tune and kind of knowing like, okay, this is what the reaction's going to be, and they're very, very, very good bouncing boards of like, okay, this is what's going to come of this, and we have a pretty good idea.
I think back to when I was a kid, and like Star Wars toys were coming out, and G.I. Joe and all Transformers. We didn't have that. There was no social media. There wasn't anything like that. So the fan interaction was just sales. Nowadays, like you're saying, right? Like you get Instagram polls, you get things like that. That must be a very uniquely interesting way of doing the business now, because you're hearing that like feedback almost instantaneously.
Definitely instantaneously. The second we put up a post and we announce something, like we're getting instant feedback, and we just take it, and it improves us down the line. Like if there's brash feedback, because we know that's also going to be the loudest people that are going to be coming in first, and those are our biggest fans. So like we're always reading what they have to say and kind of trying to implement that to better everything down the line and kind of continuously improve, especially knowing that we can get rapid engagement that quick if we put anything out and needed it.
Yeah, and basically like Steven said, the fact that we can like kind of go out there and kind of ask the world what their opinion is on something and immediately get feedback on it, it's huge for us, especially with how like fast moving and the fast pace of the environment that we work in, with us working on movie schedules and the release schedules of all these different things. It helps us to pretty quickly be able to establish like what are those important characters that people want.
Yeah, it amazes me when I look at the assortment. It doesn't matter if it's the Black Series, the Vintage, like 3 3/4. Like it doesn't matter what you're looking at. It always amazes me which figures get picked. each wave, and it's like, because I have some friends, we talk about it, and it's like, and then they'll be like, they're deep in the boards, and they're like, oh, I can't believe, everybody's saying, like, why did they pick this figure, and it's like, well, obviously there's a reason, because people voted or whatever, and,
Yeah, I mean, at times it's tough because there's always, for every person who wanted Luke Dagobah, there's always people that wanted all these other characters. He Scream, like everything that went through, and it's like, and we want to try to appease as many as possible. But at some point, it's like we only can make X amount of figures in a year. Like we'd love to make 150 figures in a year, but it's just not in our budget, in our alley. But we're always trying to look at ways and like plotting, like, okay, we necessarily can't get this figure done here. Let's see if there's a place for it. Year, 2 years down the line, they have a continuing Rolodex of figures that they know fans are asking for. We heard them in our panel, and it's ones we hear at every show, and we're just constantly just looking for that right place to be like, okay, this is the time when this one can work in terms of this wave. Let's slide it in.
I'm Eric Frainer, part of Hasbro and Design.
I'm Stephen Gilbert, part of Hasbro Marketing.
And if you're going to geek out,
Geek hard.